Life is not merely a series of tasks. It is the art of flowing with purpose, the harmony of effort and rest, the quiet orchestration of our inner and outer worlds. A day, after all, is more than minutes and hours. It is a canvas, and the routine we paint upon it determines the masterpiece we call life. The morning is not simply the beginning of a day, it is the doorway through which all possibility enters. How we greet this quiet, fragile time shapes the rhythm of our hours, the clarity of our mind, and the energy of our actions. Too often, mornings are wasted in haste, with our minds still heavy with yesterday's worries or tomorrow's anxieties. Yet, when approached with care and presence, the morning becomes a sacred space, a quiet garden where intention can take root. Each breath, each stretch, each simple act becomes an offering, a way to align the body, mind, and spirit before the world demands our attention. The first moments upon waking are a canvas, unmarked and full of potential. They do not need to be filled with endless tasks or frantic energy. They only require awareness. Even a few minutes of deliberate breathing, feeling the rise and fall of the chest, noticing the gentle rhythm of the heartbeat, can transform the way the day unfolds. This is not meditation as a goal, but meditation as life itself, a quiet return to presence, a recognition that the world outside is vast and demanding, but the world within is steady and still. Movement in the morning is more than exercise. It is an invitation to awaken fully, to honor the body that carries us through life. Gentle stretching, bending, and twisting release tension that has settled in during sleep, opening the joints and muscles with deliberate attention. It is in this careful motion that the body speaks, reminding us of its needs, its strength, and its grace. The mind, often tangled in plans and worries, begins to mirror the body's clarity. Even walking slowly in the fresh light, feeling the cool air against the skin, noticing the subtle changes in the world around us, the weight of leaves, the shimmer of water, the stillness of morning birds, grounds us in the reality of being alive. Each sensation is an anchor, it drawing attention from scattered, thought to present experience. To greet the morning mindfully is not an act of self-discipline alone. It is an act of love toward oneself, an acknowledgement that the day ahead is worth meeting with openness rather than obligation. Mindful mornings also invite a pause for reflection, a quiet consultation with our own hearts. Sitting with a journal, pen in hand, or simply observing thoughts as they rise and fall allows clarity to emerge naturally. It is a time to ask, even softly, what do I truly wish to bring to this day? What energy do I wish to carry? In these moments, decisions that might otherwise feel rushed or reactive are considered with care. Gratitude, too, finds a natural place here, listing even the smallest things: warmth of blankets, breath of fresh air. The first sip of water reorients the mind from lack to abundance. This simple act of acknowledgement shifts the tone of the day, creating a rhythm of attention, care, and presence that carries into every action. Even the smallest rituals, when performed mindfully, become transformative. A cup of tea or water, prepared slowly and savored consciously, becomes a reminder that life is not merely a succession of events, but a series of moments, each worthy of attention. Washing the face, brushing the teeth, or opening the window to morning light, all can be done with presence rather than autopilot. Each action is a declaration that this day is not to be rushed, that each breath matters, that each thought can be observed rather than pursued compulsively. By attending to the morning with intention, the mind learns a rhythm of awareness that strengthens focus, reduces stress, and cultivates joy. What begins as a simple pause at dawn expands naturally, influencing decisions, interactions, and emotions throughout the day. In essence, a mindful morning is a bridge between rest and activity, between reflection and action. It is a time to listen, to move, to breathe, and to set the tone not by obligation or duty, but by choice. In these early hours before the world presses in, one can cultivate clarity, strength, and presence, creating a foundation that supports not only productivity, but also peace, resilience, and gratitude. Each morning becomes a small act of harmony, a quiet practice of balance that shapes the unfolding day with intention and grace. Purposeful work is the heartbeat of a balanced life, yet it is often misunderstood. Many equate busyness with productivity, measuring the value of their day by the number of tasks completed or the hours spent in relentless motion. But true work is not simply doing, it is doing with presence, with intention, and with care. It is the art of focusing energy where it matters most, transforming effort into meaning, rather than mere motion. When we approach our work with purpose, each action, no matter how small, becomes significant. It is not the quantity of tasks that defines achievement, but the depth of attention and the clarity of intention with which they are carried out. Purposeful work is not a rigid schedule imposed upon the day. It is a rhythm that flows naturally from understanding what truly deserves our focus and what can be set aside without regret. To cultivate this approach, one must first understand the difference between distraction and engagement. In the modern world, distractions are constant: emails, notifications, endless scrolling, and urgent demands that pull attention in countless directions. Purposeful work requires the courage to say no to what is unnecessary, to create space for what is essential. By breaking tasks into focused segments and approaching them one at a time, the mind learns to concentrate fully. Each action becomes deliberate, each decision thoughtful. The sense of accomplishment grows not from ticking boxes, but from knowing that energy has been devoted to what aligns with deeper values and goals. Equally important is the pace of work. Purposeful effort is neither frantic nor passive. It moves with intention, honoring both the task and the mind that performs it. When we work mindfully, we recognize the natural limits of our focus. Breaks are not interruptions. They are necessary pauses that sustain clarity and creativity. In these intervals, the mind rests and the subconscious continues its quiet processing. Often, solutions, ideas, and insights arise not in the moment of labor, but in the gentle spaces between. By respecting these rhythms, we prevent burnout and cultivate a sustainable, balanced approach to productivity. Purposeful work also requires alignment with personal values and passions. Tasks that resonate with our inner purpose are not burdens. They carry energy and motivation naturally. Even difficult or challenging work becomes a path of growth when approached with curiosity and intentionality. Conversely, work devoid of meaning drains the spirit and fragments attention. Therefore, a balanced routine includes discernment, choosing carefully what to invest time and energy in, rather than responding reactively to every demand or expectation. It is a practice of prioritization, of giving oneself permission to focus on what truly matters. Collaboration and communication play a subtle yet vital role in purposeful work. Engaging with others in a mindful way, listening, contributing, and sharing ideas enhances not only results, but also human connection. Purposeful work is rarely solitary. It flourishes when energy is directed with clarity, respect, and intention toward both tasks and the people involved. In this way, work becomes a channel for growth, learning, and contribution rather than mere survival or routine obligation. Finally, the quality of attention we bring to work defines its impact. Multitasking may seem efficient, but it scatters energy and diminishes presence. Purposeful work asks for single-minded focus, awareness of each step, and full engagement with the present moment. The mind learns to move from distraction to depth, from fragmented effort to mastery of attention. In doing so, work ceases to be a source of stress or exhaustion. It becomes a form of meditation, a practice of presence that flows naturally into every aspect of life. Purposeful work, then, is more than productivity. It is a rhythm of attention, intention, and energy that transforms tasks into meaningful action. When approached with care, clarity, and focus, work nourishes the mind, strengthens resolve, and deepens satisfaction, forming a foundation for a balanced, fulfilled life. The body is the foundation upon which life is built, yet it is so often treated as a mere vessel to endure the demands of the day rather than a living system that deserves care, respect, and attention. Nourishing the body is not simply about avoiding illness or maintaining appearance. It is about cultivating energy, resilience, and vitality that sustain the mind and spirit. A balanced daily routine recognizes that the body is not separate from the life we wish to create. It is inseparable, the very instrument through which we experience the world and express our purpose. Every meal, every movement, every moment of rest becomes an opportunity to honor this connection, to invest in the health and harmony that allow life to unfold fully. Movement is among the most fundamental ways to nourish the body. It is not necessary to engage in grueling exercise or chase unrealistic ideals. Even gentle, consistent motion awakens energy, strengthens resilience, and aligns the mind with the body. Stretching in the morning loosens stiffness, encourages circulation, and signals to the nervous system that the day is beginning with intention rather than haste. Walking, yoga, or mindful movement connects breath with motion, creating an awareness that carries into all other actions. When the body is attended to in this way, tension dissipates, clarity emerges, and the mind gains focus that no caffeine or artificial stimulant could provide. Movement, when approached with attention and respect, is not punishment or obligation. It is celebration and acknowledgement of the vessel that carries us through every day. Nutrition is equally essential to a balanced routine. Eating mindfully, choosing foods that nourish rather than merely fill, transforms the act of consumption into a ritual of care. Meals are not to be rushed or ignored. They are moments to replenish energy, stabilize mood, and strengthen immunity. Each bite can be taken with awareness, noticing texture, flavor, and the effect on the body. Hydration, too, is a subtle but profound form of nourishment, reminding the body that even the simplest elements, water and air, sustain life in ways that are often taken for granted. When diet is approached with attention, it becomes a tool for balance, supporting mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical resilience, rather than leaving the body in cycles of fatigue, cravings, or imbalance. Rest and recovery are the silent pillars of health. Sleep is not a passive state of inactivity, but an essential time when the body heals, restores, and reorganizes itself. In a world that glorifies business, it can be tempting to skimp on rest, but the consequences ripple across mind, body. Deep, uninterrupted sleep allows memory consolidation, hormone regulation, and tissue repair. A balanced routine protects this time, recognizing that nothing achieved in the waking hours can replace the regenerative power of proper rest. Even brief pauses or moments of quiet throughout the day serve a similar purpose, allowing the nervous system to recalibrate, reducing stress and increasing focus. Beyond physical health, nourishment extends to the subtle energy of the body, the way we carry ourselves, the quality of our breath, and the alignment of our posture. Conscious breathing, whether through meditation, yoga, or simple moments of attention, supplies oxygen, calms the nervous system, and fosters a sense of grounded presence. Posture and movement, when attended to, reduce tension and discomfort, allowing energy to flow freely rather than stagnating in habitual patterns of stress. By approaching the body with mindfulness, every act of care becomes an investment, not only in health, but in the capacity to live fully, to engage deeply with the world, and to sustain the mind in its highest potential. In essence, nourishing the body is a practice of attention and respect, a recognition that life is experienced through this living instrument. Every movement, meal, breath, and moment of rest contributes to a foundation upon which balance, clarity, and vitality are built. In a routine that honors the body, the mind becomes sharper, the spirit lighter, and each day more fully alive, transforming the simple act of living into an art of care, intention, and harmony. The evening is not merely the close of a day, it is a gentle doorway into stillness, a time when the mind, body, and spirit can come together to process, release, and renew. In the quiet that follows the day's activity, there exists an opportunity to step back from distraction, to observe without judgment, and to understand the patterns of thought, emotion, and action that have shaped the hours just past. Evening reflection is not a chore or an obligation. It is a sacred practice, a pause that allows clarity to emerge and prepares the foundation for the day yet to come. Without this intentional pause, the mind carries the residue of stress, unfinished tasks, and emotional turbulence into sleep, leaving energy fragmented and vision blurred. Yet, when reflection is embraced, it becomes a bridge between experience and wisdom, between effort and insight, allowing the lessons of the day to settle deeply into consciousness. Reflection begins with stillness. It is not necessary to search for profound thoughts or solutions immediately. It is enough to create space, to slow the breath, and to allow the mind to surface the impressions of the day. Sitting quietly, observing the sensations of the body and the flow of thoughts, anchors awareness in the present moment. This simple practice cultivates attentiveness and strengthens the capacity to notice patterns, how attention was spent, which moments brought joy or frustration, and which actions aligned with inner values. The act of noticing itself is transformative because it moves experience from automatic repetition into conscious engagement. By observing without judgment, the mind becomes a mirror, reflecting the day with clarity, rather than a critic casting blame or regret. Journaling or recording reflections is a natural extension of this practice. Writing allows the mind to articulate what may otherwise remain scattered, giving shape to experiences, insights, and feelings. Even a few lines, a brief note of gratitude, or a recounting of the day's events can bring perspective. Reflection through writing is not about analysis alone. It is about dialogue with oneself, a conversation that deepens understanding and cultivates self-awareness. Gratitude often emerges effortlessly in these moments as the mind pauses to acknowledge not only challenges, but also the small, often overlooked gifts, the warmth of sunlight, the kindness of another, the moments of clarity or achievement. This recognition shifts the focus from scarcity or frustration to abundance and possibility, setting the tone for rest and renewal. Evening reflection also invites a conscious review of growth and intention. Consider the choices made, the actions taken, and the thoughts cultivated throughout the day. Where did energy flow most effectively? Where was it scattered? By observing patterns rather than judging them, one can identify adjustments to strengthen focus, calm, and purpose. These reflections need not be elaborate. Even silent contemplation before sleep, reviewing the day in sequence, can illuminate insights that inform tomorrow's actions. In this way, reflection becomes a compass, guiding decisions with clarity rather than impulse. The practice of reflection integrates with rest, preparing the mind and body for restorative sleep. When the day is considered, acknowledged, and released consciously, the nervous system relaxes and tension dissipates. Thoughts that might otherwise whirl endlessly settle into order, creating a natural rhythm for the evening and an undisturbed passage into sleep. By cultivating this routine, one develops a subtle but profound harmony between action and rest, awareness and release. In these hours, the mind learns the art of letting go, the body finds relief, and the spirit senses continuity and meaning. Evening reflection is a daily ritual that honors the cycle of life, bridging the activity of the day with the quiet of the night. Through stillness, observation, gratitude, and review, the hours of reflection transform ordinary experience into insight, growth, and preparation. Each night becomes not merely a pause, but a conscious act of understanding, a way to release what no longer serves, and to carry forward what strengthens, shapes, and uplifts the self. It is in this gentle, deliberate attention to the day's close that balance is nurtured, clarity is deepened, and the foundation for a new day is quietly laid. In the rhythm of our days, balance is neither accidental nor fleeting. It is cultivated with intention, nurtured through practice, and strengthened by presence. By greeting each morning with mindfulness, approaching our work with purpose, honoring the body with care, and reflecting deeply in the evening, we create a life that is coherent, vibrant, and full of meaning. Each moment becomes an opportunity to align action with values, energy with clarity, and effort with rest. A balanced daily routine is not merely a schedule to follow, it is a way of living consciously, fully, and gracefully. When we embrace this rhythm, the chaos of the world no longer dictates our experience. Instead, we move through life with calm, focus, and joy. The simple acts of attention and care, repeated day by day, ripple outward, transforming ordinary days into a life that is steady, enriched, and profoundly alive. In this harmony, we discover that better living is not found in grand gestures or distant goals, but in the mindful, intentional way we inhabit each passing day.